are not alone. All right, we go right into this. What's up, everybody? We are going live. This is D from Brooklyn. This is Don of New York Gold, and this is Jake, newly found fish friend from Dream Fish Keeping. We're talking about picking up where we left off about the gear, the whole thing in running a YouTube channel, and it's a lot less intimidating depending on how you go about getting into it. These are the things that we're going to talk about. We'll wait a little bit while people get into the room, but I'm not going to run it too long tonight. Thank you, our one guy that got in here really early. Thank you for supporting people. We're going to talk about the gear, everything you use to shoot video. You're going to talk about the production. That means putting the videos together, how you film it, how you shoot it, what you do, and how you generate content, how you produce the content. And then we're going to go into editing, which editing is a big thing of concern. It can go really, really intense. It can be really, really involved, or it can be really, really simplistic. And while I'm doing all of this, I'm going to go around the room like we did in the elementary school and let everybody say a little bit something about themselves, because you got to break the ice. And this is how we break the ice. So
It's the worst part.
this is the worst part. Come on. All right. Don, New York Gold.
All right, I'm Don from New York Gold, and we're here to talk to D about editing, gear, and shooting. Oh, man, something just came up on my phone.
And that's another thing.
Oh, it was a notification that you have a live stream going on right now. If you're popping up on the phone,
Just in case you didn't know.
You sabotaged your own thing. All right, that's enough out of me. Get a piece of tape.
I'm Jake. I'm Dream Fish Keeping, and Dawn saw a few of my videos, liked the way I did some editing, so I'm just up here on the panel to chat, share what I got.
Yeah, and everything is welcome. There's no wrong answers. There's no right answers. This isn't 20th Century Fox. We're not professionals. We're just talking about the experience and trying to help some people along the way, because there's a lot of people that go and there's actually a lot of people with brilliant systems, brilliant aquariums, brilliant fish rooms that don't shoot it at all. I mean, I went to Andrew's house over here in New York, 17,000-gallon aquarium, and I was like flabbergasted that he should have more YouTube followers than anybody. I mean, I can't even express how beautiful this tank is, and there's reasons why people don't film or blog on YouTube, and those are the things that we're going to talk about. So Jake was introduced to me by Don. I watched a couple of his videos. The editing is really good. We're gonna go into editing.
Slick,
We're gonna
man.
go into
Slick.
editing because I'm
we could talk
lazy. I'll
about
tell
that.
you, fellas, I'm lazy. I've been keeping fish longer than I'm not gonna keep saying how long I've been keeping fish, but let's just say there was no internet. So it's sometimes you want to just shoot real fast, and you have the gear that you have, either your cell phone, or some people have a video camera, or some people have really intense blogging cameras. So I'll just say we're starting with gear. I have a DSLR camera, but I use my Galaxy Note, and we'll go around and talk about what everybody uses. I use my Galaxy Note because it's so convenient.
Bro, come on.
And if you hear my background, that's my son playing. Come on, no profanity, please. But yeah, I just shoot with it because I've carried the DSLR, and some of you guys will relate. It becomes bulky, and you can't just put it away and move around the way you want to move around and film. And what's up, JCS Reefing, brother from another mother, always in the stream. Shout out to JCS Reefing. One of the things we did with them, I'll mention JCS. We had the tank contest, and people use their phones. So we just kind of in the world of using our phones. It's so easy. So I use my phone, but I have all this other equipment. you know, um,
Is there a situation where you would have to use the DSLR, or where you'd prefer to?
I'll tell you why I like to use the DSLR. Let's look at our streams right now. The picture quality is always going to be better on the DSLR, but here's the caveat: functionality. It's not auto everything. Like the camera will do a lot of automatic correction for glare, brightness, even the webcams. The webcams don't compensate. See, if I move like that, how long it takes to refresh. The DSLR, depending on the lens, you got to do it manually, and you got to be very versed to do it. So I
Gotcha.
tend not to do that because it takes longer. And with fish, you got to be relatively quick.
Yeah. If you're gonna upgrade to a DSLR for like shooting like Sony and Canon, you got to make sure that it auto focuses in
Quick.
video. They don't
Quick.
all do that.
No, they don't.
So, like mine doesn't. I have a nice DSLR, but I don't shoot with it.
Yeah,
I do my thumbnails with it.
you do. So that's
Yes.
a good point. So you do use it for the thumbnails.
I use it for the thumbnail. It takes a much better picture than that. You have much more range. You have much more quality, and it's a zillion pixels per inch. And so you can zoom in because you got to bring everything down to that dumb 16 by 9, 128 by 72.
Mhm.
So it maintains a nice sharp. So I would say 98% of my thumbnails are in the DSLR.
Do you shoot fish with it at all? Do
Oh,
you film the fish with that? Because sometimes I have a hard time getting a clear image with a phone, even though it's an iPhone 13.
Honestly, no. I have a little point and shoot. I'll get it in a second. But
Okay.
like I said, my DSLR, I can't autofocus when I'm doing video. So unless the fish is just sitting there and I'm on a clear shot, and if
Which
he ain't
never
moving,
happens.
what am I videotaping anyway? I might as well take
Right.
a still. But I
I got to mention once again, I'm going to rub it till the cows come home. Don has won several photo contests. Now, did you win that with the DSLR or with the phone?
Yes.
Because we're talking about shooting, and we do shoot our tanks. So people want to know, what are you getting the best picture with?
DSLR.
DSLR. You shot
And-
it. Oh, you cheated. I'm reporting you.
No, I was allowed to use that. They want you to use it. The difference is because you have control over the speed and aperture. You don't have that with a phone. You can download apps and stuff like that, but as long as the phone, they're set up for certain situations, not all situations. When a fish tank is very few of the situations a phone will be looking at, and as long as that fish is moving, when you zoom in on that, you start cropping that image, you're gonna see it's soft, it's fuzzy. That thing is not tack sharp. You could speed your camera up, your DSLR, to if you're using a flash indoors, you can speed up for like 200th of a second, which it's pretty. As long as the fish is moving slow or just hanging out, you got him frozen, man. He's tack, and that's what the guy's looking for. He's looking to count the scales.
But see,
Take a shot with your phone, see if you can count the scales. It just doesn't always
now
work
we're
out.
shooting video. Now I know I have a Nikon. The Nikon, I have pretty good Nikon. I got multiple lenses. I actually take a lot from a lot of photographers that friends that I know like you that shoot and try to take a little bit of grain of salt what. Now I have that problem with the video, like JCS mentions. He has the Sony, which is a good one. The Sony, the A6000 is a good camera. That's actually a pretty good camera if I'm thinking of the right one. But you always result to the phone because it's just so small and it's like in your pocket. And like, let's say you go to a fish store, it's just so easy. But now, what do you use, Jake?
Well, that's why I'm so interested. I just use my phone, and so far so good. I mean, it doesn't. When we talk about editing a little later, that it doesn't make a difference how it was shot for the editing process. So I'm trying to just use the phone the best way I can, like whatever strategies I can use, or I mean, that's where editing comes in. If I can't get the clearest picture, maybe I can make it a little bit better in post.
And let me know if you guys are getting an echo because I'm playing with
Now,
my.
Jake, are you specifically trying to shoot a thumbnail, or are you taking clips out of the movie?
Are we talking thumbnails still?
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying. So I can't with the phone. I can't seem to get a clear picture. Like even if I just wanted to take a picture for Instagram or something, it's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. But it shoots video fine. I can take video of the fish and it's pretty clear. So that's kind of the bulk of it.
And you're saying from the phone you can't get a clear enough picture for the thumbnail?
I don't know if I would say that. Maybe I can't get a clear enough picture for my liking.
Well,
I don't know.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, it doesn't matter what anybody else.
Right.
If you don't like it, then it ain't good enough.
And
I'm tough on myself.
Now I used to shoot from the phone and capture, but in the last few months, I do actually take an excerpt right from the video because I think it's pertinent to the video. So like it's like, okay, if I'm talking about a
Yeah.
new filter, I'll take a shot right out of the film. I'll just screenshot it from the footage and then use it in the thumbnail. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna talk about.
Oh, yeah. That's what I do right now. Like I said, it just could be better. Could be better.
Could be worse.
Very
You
true.
know,
Very
we
true. Very true.
Yeah,
and
Greg Jones is on. He's using a handy cam.
now that's funny because
What's wrong with
look,
that?
Greg, come on, Greg. I met Greg. Greg is a great guy. I miss you, Greg. We got to get to these conventions. I
I
miss
know he's
him. I
been
saw him at
quiet.
the NEC. We saw him at the NEC and things like that. Mike says, "What's up?" I'm always talking to Mike and asking about Greg. So shout out to Greg. I actually thought about using the clubs. You know, the Brooklyn Aquarium Society. I have the video camera, and I have my um HD, another video camera. I got an HD camera that you can actually shoot live. But once again, now you got to edit and you have to take the chip from the camera and then move it to the computer, which is another step. You got to import. So I don't want to jump into editing because we're going to get into production. We're going to follow it through the
Well,
paces.
what are we still on? Gear?
We're
Let me go
still
back to
on the
gear.
gear.
Jake, when you shoot with your phone, do you cable jack it to your PC
And
or
that's where
leave
we're
it,
leading
or do
to.
you cloud it?
I
That's where
cloud it.
we're leading to.
I just airdrop it. I just airdrop it because I'm
Airdrop
using
it.
I
a
got you.
Mac computer and it's all
Uh,
Apple products, so it's seamless. That's something else that I really D touched on. That's something that I like about the phone. Is I can just when I'm done shooting, I just send it to my computer. Might have to wait a couple of minutes for it to load to download, but then you can just jump right into editing. I don't have to worry about chips or anything like that.
The easier you make it,
yeah.
and that anybody that's watching, the easier you make it, the more you're gonna like it. Because when you get into making a lot of videos, and I know Greg will attest to it, the more you're doing this and the more you build a following, I mean, the more you're requested to do more videos, the less work you want to do to actually creating it. You want it to be easy. Boom, shoot it, airdrop it, edit it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do the
So
same thing when I shoot on my phone. I send it to the. Well, I'm trying to figure out what it was. I can never remember what it was called.
What Google Drive?
Yeah, Google Drive.
Drive?
But
Okay.
I shoot it in the basement. I get everything, and I put them all together. I send them, and by the time I get my ass up the stairs, up to the couch, it's all there, you know. And I just download it onto the thing, and I'm ready to rock
super
and roll.
easy.
And now, does anybody use a gimbal or a tripod? I bought a very expensive gimbal. I gotta admit, I forgot who I saw using this gimbal. We were watching somebody. And for those of you that don't know what a gimbal is more or less a stabilizer for your phone or your camera to keep the shot steady. But I moved to this tripod, and I was telling Don about this tripod. It's a really small, very, very,
Look at
you
this
wouldn't
thing.
believe how small it is. It's very small. I have very big gimbals. I have 3 gimbals. I have one that's automated that I can put on my full-size tripod and it'll actually follow me. And I think if you see one of my older videos, I was testing it. So if I went tank to tank, it would follow me and shoot that tank. But after a while, that was another step and another piece of equipment. And I just ended up not using it. Like, we fish people have tons of equipment we don't use in the tank. That kind of becomes the vlog thing. And I just thought that this was great because it had my little remote button. It had my little button that's
He
built
loves this
on.
thing.
It's tiny. It actually, I'm gonna try to get it in the shot here. This is it. I'm gonna move back so you can see it. This is the full size of the tripod. It extends probably 4 feet.
That's the most embarrassing part.
It becomes of all this expensive equipment I got, I love this because I can talk to you. I can pop out my little remote button, and this is Bluetooth. This will start the video and stop the video. So I'm not like you see my arm like this, or I can put it down and I can talk to Greg or talk to Don or talk to Jake and just hit the button and it's recording. And I can have this in my hand and I can hit stop. And I thought that was one of the most convenient things. But you
That would
guys
save
haven't.
me.
You
That would
that
save me
would
some
be
time on editing.
well. You know what I'm saying. I mean, it's little things, but I have a very expensive gimbal that I don't use. So, do you use a tripod, Jake?
What I have set up right now is on a tripod. It's nothing fancy, but it works. It's cheap, so
Cheap is good. Cheap is my
Cheap
friend.
is
I'll
good.
tell you. Anybody
As
that
long as it's
Don will
stable.
tell you that I'm cheap.
Nobody knows.
Stable. Yeah.
Nobody knows if
I
it's on a
squeeze-
$1,000 tripod or a bookend.
I
Oh,
No one
squeeze
would
the
know.
president out of a
$1,000 tripod.
quarter. He knows I'm cheap. I look at fish 10 times before I buy it. By the way, Don, somebody bought my clown, the black one.
Oh yeah, nah. You snooze, you lose, brother.
No, I gave him back. He got sold.
Oh, the
twice.
one you gave back. I thought that
And
was
then
the
I
one you
brought
wanted.
back to the store. Somebody bought them, and they paired up in the store. But I'm going way off topic.
Yeah,
They
I got
paired
a
up.
couple of these, and then
Those are great.
usually, well, yeah, these are fine. I'm using one right now for the phone, and then like I have a regular tripods. I have some lighting too. I know Jake has got light. You got just the ring light, or you have more than that, Jake?
$15 ring light from Amazon, and that's all I use. And so far, so good.
And that goes to show you don't need like 40 ring lights and $500 freaking gimbals. There are
Be
ways
nice.
to really go off the deep end. But when you see the quality of Jake's videos, dude, I'm sure people would ask you, what do you use? Or how did you shoot that? Or what? Oh yeah, it's $15. And I'm like, oh, I got an $80 one and I can't get that result.
Well, so
Yeah.
the thing about that, I know, are we gonna get to gear accumulation syndrome? You talked about last stream.
The gas.
The gas.
gas.
Yeah. I would rather, at the end of the day, I'd rather spend money on fish. Like I would rather spend money on my fish tanks than I would my equipment. So if I can make cheaper equipment look good and work, if it's functional, then I can work on my projects for my fish.
That makes sense. It's good stuff.
Greg said, D uses a selfie stick.
Selfie stick, yeah.
He saw me running around the convention with the selfie stick. You should see me in
Nice.
Florida. I look like a nut. But
Is it that,
yeah,
is it that little thing that extends?
oh, it extends. It
Is that
extends
what you were
far.
using?
Yeah.
Selfie stick.
And then this opens up, so it's hard to catch you here because I got such a big thing.
Don't let him fool you. That's his cane.
This is my cane. Yeah, I'm gonna be on. You're gonna see I've fallen and I can't get up. But it was just because I like to talk to people, as everybody knows, and I don't like to stand there like this. Like, oh yeah, how do we talk about the fit? I could just extend this out, and
Yeah,
you don't even
that's-
see that I got it extended. I can move it around us. It can be behind me or whatnot or whatever. But there's tons of options out there, tons and tons of options. And when you're thinking about producing, and you got to think about how much you want to edit. So, are there any other things that you use other than we have the ring lights, we have the selfie sticks, we have, Bluetooth. One thing actually I will say that I did use, and Jake and I, we were getting into it. When you shoot the phone with the phone, I'm stuttering. When you shoot with the phone, the Bluetooth, excellent mic, rather than relying on the phone mic. And I don't know if a lot of people actually do that, but if you're shooting and you're going to talk or do a voiceover, you're much better having the mic here than relying on the phone mic, because as you move the mic on the, as you move the phone, you don't realize that audio goes in and out and you really lose it. Whereas when you have the Bluetooth, the audio is consistent. I bought a mic and then I found that out. so that was like a learning point too. So does anybody use a Bluetooth mic or any other kind of mic like a?
No. Well, so the one piece of gear I have that I don't know if I could go without is it's like a video kit, and it's what the tripod came with. It's what the stand came with, and it has a microphone. It's pretty much just for audio, but it also can act as sort of like a selfie stick. It's just not it's not long enough, but I use that to shoot my videos. And the video that I have, I think it's next. I'm not sure, I scheduled them, but one of the videos I have coming up, I forgot to plug that mic in. So you'll be able to tell the difference in one of these videos, and it's pretty noticeable. I had so much footage, I just rolled with it and edited it the best I could. But yeah, so I do like this video kit.
How about you? Do you have any other equipment that we're missing?
Try, like I said, my camera, the mic is pretty good on there. The audio, I can't complain about. It's for what it is. It sounds good. But when I have to do like voiceovers, I steal my son's. When he's gaming, he has one of those snowball mics.
Oh,
it's like $100 mic. But I tried those little lapel mics and stuff like that. it just sounds like I'm in a tin can underwater. It's just garbage, you know. And it's the Snowball is it's not that expensive for audio, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go yank his mic off his
Well, I
PC
use
and
I use a
use it.
wired mic too. The wired mics are good, but I got like a 50-foot wire. Then I'm like hiding the wire under my shirt, and it sounds great, but
Yeah, I
it's
have
not
one right here.
convenient.
It's just,
Then it's a little pin on mic, and you can't really tell I have it. It's with my Nikon. I use it mainly with the DSLR.
I have to see this little lapel mic right here. It sounds like
just like
shit.
that.
It's horrible. It really. I guess
one-
they're not all equal. This one is not.
Is
good.
that wireless?
No, it's a wire.
Yeah.
Wire.
The one I have is really tiny. It's like the I want to say Yoda, the Vode, I always get the name wrong. Vode or Mode, whatever that Mode mic.
Oh, the Rode, RODE.
Rode. Thank you. I always forget that. It's very small, but not convenient because once again, if I just want to shoot something spur of the moment, I don't want to go get it. You know what I mean? You got to prep it. I got to plug that in. I got to run it here, and now that limits how I can move around or whatever. So
Yeah, I have a you ever hear of like a Zoom H1? It's like a handheld recorder. It has the two mics that are crisscross like this. I have one of those. I acquired. I had all kinds of like plans. That's why I bought it, and then I never used it. I think I used it once to like try it out, but it's very clear. It's a good mic. It's good to like interview somebody with.
Oh, okay. So there's a time and a place. So if you go to the show,
next time I interview you, I want to figure out how to use it. I'll be pressing buttons like a monkey. What the hell's going on here?
Well, that's another thing that brings us into the production, because now it's what we have as far as gear, and we're blowing right through it. What we have as far as gear, when does this not become convenient? Like we were shooting a Reef Collective, and I came to the point, I was like, okay, Ryan, you got a pretty good mic. Mine was crap. And I said, you know what? I have this big professional mic that's been in the box. I don't even know how long it had been in the box, but I thought it was too much to hang, and I had to put the arm and filter, but it makes a difference because now I'm not limited. I can move around, and I'm comfortable. So when I'm interviewing somebody, of course, I don't have this, but are you going to rely on the phone mic? Like, what do you do? Like,
I don't know.
That's one of the reasons why everybody uses the phone, because like when you use the DSLR, you need a mic. That's another reason why I stopped using the DSLR. So like when you guys are out there trying to make videos, or if you're just new and looking to start making videos, it's not that you have to have a lot of equipment, but you have to know that if you're in a expo, if you go to Reefapalooza or Aquashella, there's a lot of noise in the background and your phone's going to pick it up. Whereas even if you have that mic like you got the Rode, you can actually pin it to the person. Or actually, which I never did, I never tried, I could probably wrap it to this stick, which I never even thought about. I could
give me that thing.
Okay,
stick.
Give me that fucking thing.
Stick. It's a magic wand.
Tomorrow's garbage day. Give me that thing.
Leave my stick alone. So now
so let me get to. So now we have gear. What about shooting? Like everybody has their own like techniques, and I think that's the one thing that I know I lack in. And one is like length of shooting, because I'm cheap and I still think I'm like shooting film. So I'm like, even it's like stupid. I don't know if I ever used like 1/10 of 100 of a freaking card, and I always think I'm gonna run out. I'm just like paranoid. But one big thing that like usually saves, I think, most videos that I watch and even my own is B-roll. I mean, how much time do you guys spend, shooting and then actually using the B-roll?
Not enough yet. That's something that I want to do more with, because I think it's important, and everybody likes B-roll. Everybody wants to see the fish while you're talking, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I just speaking for myself, is like when I go to a fish thing, especially if it's not like a DIY type of thing. If the guy says, "Oh, I got these new Mandarin guppies from China," or whatever, I want to see those guppies. All right, you're done talking. You told me who you are. Now get to the guppies. Get to the guppies. I mean, and then if he doesn't show me, I'm like, fast forward. And I say, oh, there they are. And I look at the guppy, and then I move. I'm like, I don't care what he has to say. I'm there to see fish. You want to talk. Show me the damn fish. You know what I mean? That's, I mean, it's fish chew, for Christ's sakes. We're here to
But
see the
now,
fish.
how much do you get out of the B-roll though? Like, how much do you actually like outtakes you're talking about using?
I think if you talk for a minute, 40 to 45 seconds of that should be B-roll.
It's high.
Because honestly,
That's high.
nobody's here to see me.
Right.
That's a good
Except-
point.
You know what I mean? They're here to see the fish. People, come on, your personality, tell some jokes, whatever. You could crack a joke without looking at somebody. You could say it behind the scenes, but you come in and you say what you got to say, and then you can go back and forth. You don't just go over there but I think you should spend more time on the B. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
I agree with you
I agree.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
But my problem is, though, I never shoot enough B-roll. So what I have to do is, like,
that too, because I have to say I will stop it and film it again. I'm kind of anal. Like, if I don't feel right, I'm like, I like to shoot straight through, which is, I like to shoot straight through and then I listen to it. And my wife, her favorite thing is, you watch yourself. And I said, yeah, because I have to see it as if how somebody else is going to see it. And then I go back and edit it. Like,
yeah, you should watch it and wait a whole day and then go back and edit it again.
Yeah, because you feel like, I rambled, or maybe I missed the point that I was trying to make. So like, I shoot a lot of segments, which I could probably use as B-roll. Like, there's a lot of footage that I take out.
Yeah.
So, one trick I do with the B-roll though is, if I don't have enough, if you slow it down, it stretches it. So if I need 15 seconds, I only have 10. I slow it down. So the fish is like, the fish don't look bad in slow motion.
No, I can picture like a betta fish or something. The fins in the water. Yeah, that could be good in slow mo.
Yeah, you could buy yourself some time.
But from a production view, how much time do you plan on spending when you shoot a video? I mean, the ultimate goal used to be, actually, I gotta reorganize my thought. The ultimate goal used to be to gain that following so that you could do longer videos. And then it became, no, short to the point. I wanted 10 minutes or less, even 5 minutes. But now I feel like people are getting more into that lengthier video. Like we're live streaming now. Live streaming is usually a dedicated thing. You're not really editing, but when you're doing a video or a DIY or unboxing, how do you do that? Like, what do you put in that? Are you going along, or are you shooting it 10 minutes and then cutting it to 5? Like, I'm just going to make it 5 minutes.
Me?
I probably.
Go ahead, Jake. You got you into this.
Go ahead, Jake.
I probably shoot for maybe 20 minutes, not long, but I'll do a couple things like the intro. I'll say it a few times with like a pause in between, so I can just take the best clip of that, maybe do it 3 times, and then I just kind of film and have fun with it, especially unboxings. I mean, everybody loves getting fish, so yeah, I just kind of enjoy it, talk to the camera, and then the editing is really that's where I go hard, is the editing, because then I can just take out all the stuff that I think is boring. And then, I'll give it 24 hours. I'll come back and I'll say, I don't know why I left this part in the video. And then I'll cut that out and it gets even shorter. So my 20 minutes of footage really ends up being a 4-minute video, which I think for right now is okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good time.
That is a good time. But you're shooting 20 minutes and then breaking it down to what, 5-10 minutes? Yeah,
5 minutes really. I just take out. So coming into this, I mean, I came from the perspective of watching YouTube, not thinking about creating content at all. So I had years of, oh, this person should do this more, or I liked when they did this, so I've been seeing that from both perspectives. But I follow a guy, his name's Mr. Beast. He's probably the most successful YouTuber I think ever, and he started from absolutely nothing and just over 10 years worked his way up with good ideas. So super inspirational. But he says no dead space. No dead space. He says that just gives people a reason to click away.
I'm taking notes too, Mr. Beast. You're gonna get a visit from me.
Yeah, I watch
Mr. Beast is the best.
videos all the time on like how to make better videos and stuff like that. And they said they did a study, and the average attention span of today's people that watch is 8 seconds.
Short.
So if your intro is 10 seconds long, most people are going to click off. If
Yeah,
you just
that's
on,
true.
so you gotta, and you say, don't even play your intro in the beginning. Try to hook them in the beginning. Say, hey, this is D. I'm going to show you how to turn a fish tank upside down, and then you do your thing. Like they would say,
Then
oh,
I
I'm
wanna
going to stick
see it
around and see
again.
how to turn it upside down. You know,
You just
they
gave
say,
away my
don't
next
just
video,
start
how to
with the
turn a
hook.
tank upside down. I was going to do that next week.
Yeah,
Hey, I'll watch that.
you start with a hook, and then if you want to throw an intro in there, and I completely cutting mine out altogether. I'm not even going to do it anymore.
Well, it's a good point because I had a lot of people that found it and just jumped on it because of that, the whole shark bait thing that I thought was funny. I don't even know how I was just joking about it. But then as you go along, okay, if you've watched the guy's videos, 2 or 3 videos, and he has the same intro, you're like kind of over it, like, okay, he's gonna do that. But then I switched it so that one intro would show a saltwater screen, or another one would show a freshwater. So people that saw the intro and saw like Xenia, it's like, okay, this is a saltwater topic. But you could do that in the title. So evolving. I'm probably evolving and always learning. And good point, the analytics can help you determine how to produce your video as well. We were talking about that Tuesday. Like
Yeah.
Don, you don't have that pie chart. Where's the
So I'm
chart?
going to draw it up
Get the
again.
chart out.
Go to the
Yes,
chart.
I made a perfect circle
definitely.
last time. It was nice.
That was production. I mean, he said, you know, if your video is this long and the average attention span is like 1 minute or less, and you spend a minute and a half on the intro, then you probably lost half your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have you looked at the retention rates on that YouTube gives you in the analytics, Jake?
Well, so that's something that I'm struggling with a little bit because I'm coming from 0 subscribers. I'm coming from like nobody watching and it's starting to build, but I wouldn't say I really have a large enough sample size yet to really know when people are clicking away from the video or which videos. I mean, I can kind of get an idea of which videos do better, but some of the, like for the shorts, I know we don't have to get into this, but for some of the shorts, I've been trying to mix up how I do them and stuff, and it seems random what catches
Mm.
on and what doesn't. Like I swear my dumbest video had a couple thousand views and I didn't even want to watch it again. So I was confused on that.
I
I
like
don't
the
know.
koi series though that you started. I like, you know, the koi pond stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm
That's
trying
pretty.
to. So you kind of gave me some advice last time talking about shorts, and they don't do much except for bring people in that normally wouldn't see you. So I figure if I can do series or find the right kind of series that works for me, that by itself would give people a reason to come back because they'd say, oh, I like this video. It's a series. I want to see the other ones. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I can't
No,
prove if that works yet or not. We'll see.
no, I
Well,
think it's great. Any kind of traffic you can head in the right direction, and that's wherein lies the problem. If you don't put quality videos on your tube, you pull this traffic in, and it just keeps going on
you
the highway.
lose.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Thumbnail
you
only
get,
can take you so far.
yeah. So I would rather, you know, and I'd rather post less videos of good quality. So when the people are there, hopefully they can stick.
Yeah, and then you got to find what your niche audience is. I mean, when you're producing videos, when you're creator, when you're in a creative mode, you're going to get videos with many comments. You're going to get videos with 2 comments. You're going to get videos that are long that people watch later. Like you'll see videos I've seen, like how-to videos. Like if you make I did the how to use the Dasani light only because I looked on the website, I looked in the instructions. I couldn't understand the instructions. So that was a video that wasn't entertaining to me, but everybody that bought that light wanted to know how to program it. So it got production time. I mean, it got view time. So things like that, if that's your target audience, or maybe you're just a good explainer. You know, I have an IT background, but I got away from IT because I got stressed explaining stuff to people. like, like it's like, lady, you can turn the power on. That now the computer works. Okay. But
Yeah.
if
Mhm.
that's your niche, that's what you should focus on. Or if you did that video, Jake, and it wasn't one you like and it really developed steam, then that little audience right there, you can pull them as like, well, what did you like about the video? Like I like to like touch the audience, I guess you say. Like,
Yes,
what do
sir.
you like? Like, oh, this got steam, so let me see how I can apply that concept.
Yeah,
to
but you
something
see
else.
what he's doing if you watch his videos, the way he edits, the music he uses, the shorts that he's making, it's very, it's almost catering to a younger audience than watches us. You know,
Yeah,
so he has a much better chance of getting a bigger, because people under 40 watch their telephone and they think all the time. People that watch us are like, and Jeopardy's on, you know, and then they ain't looking at us. So even like just the whole format of the pond thing, where you're critiquing in the box upside, is something that's very like TikTok-y. You know,
yeah.
that's like a younger person would do, and that would attract younger people. You know,
So
he's
it's funny you say that. I looked at my demographic analytics for the first time, and I
Mhm.
was surprised that it's a younger audience. I mean, I don't. The thing is, I don't have a big enough audience to really know who's watching the videos or who likes them. But right now, where I'm at, it is, I would say, I don't know, pretty young, like 18 to. There's a couple age
yeah,
ranges, like
you
18
could
to
tell by
35.
your editing style and the stuff you're putting out is like it's aimed towards a younger crowd. Like that's what it looks
It
like
is
to me.
quicker. It's
But
quicker.
yeah, and
It's a
which
quicker
is really
style.
where you want to be attracting your an audience from. You don't
Well,
want the
Yeah,
because that's
geezer
his
audience; they
whole
don't
that's
watch.
his whole that's his whole demographic. So of course, you would imagine he's gonna make videos that he likes, and him being younger, he's gonna attract a younger demographic.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
but
Whether
gonna
he's
be more
doing the
out
same
for it.
thing. He's filming guppies in his tank just like we are, but he's doing
Yeah.
it in a style that caters
that
to younger people.
so
With
that's
the that's why you get that slick young man style of editing, much different than the crap that we're putting out. And it's and it's showing. That's what's getting. That's the audience. Now I think your audience, Jake, clicks faster than ours. That's the bad
Yeah,
thing.
but
But I think you got a better
yeah.
chance of getting once you get noticed, getting a huge wave of people just showing up, and all of a sudden, boom, you're gonna explode. Like what was that? Fish for Thought. That's what happened to him. He had like
I do like his
40
channel a lot.
views. Next thing you know, he had 100,000. It would happen like overnight. But
Well,
he
so
caters to younger crowd.
he all credits to him. That's where I got the idea to do series because my favorite fish series is Fish Tank Review, and he's done like
hmm
150 episodes or something like that. So that I just want to kind of take that idea and see if I can make something of my own. And it's not really my style to make a whole video out of it like he does. So I'm just using shorts to play around with it and
No,
work
that's.
on editing stuff like that.
I think you're honest. I really do, and I
Can
think
I
you're
We'll
hitting
see.
the
can I
right
jump in
audience.
there? Can I jump in there and
Yeah.
say that in his bio he looks like a pop star? Like that's a good damn photograph. I gotta
I didn't
change
even
mine
take
now.
I didn't even
Yeah.
take that.
I have to
Someone took
change
that
mine.
photo of me a long
Of
time
course.
ago.
Well, you're gonna attract the ladies too. I mean, let's not ignore the people that accidentally
Yeah,
stumble
either that or you got to come up with a
on.
logo for your channel so you can
Yeah,
hand out
Yeah,
yeah.
stickers.
You know, you can do it like
yeah,
that.
that's definitely on the list of things to do. So one thing, if we're talking about, well, if we're talking about all this stuff, we don't have to get into this right now, but Photoshop. I think Photoshop is super important to know how to do, and I don't know how to do Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop, so that's something I need to learn at some point soon.
We're gonna get into that when we jump right into the editing. We're easing out of production and we're kind of leading into editing. So editing does lead to Photoshop. I did start, which is weird. I started using Photoshop and their whole suite, like a photo director. There was another one that was I can't think of the name of it. I think it was Movie Director Pro, and I went to this movie editing software. I'm trying to focus there. Movie Edit Pro. This company Magic was like a spinoff of Photoshop, and it was really good. It's a really good platform, but once again, it's difficult to learn. Like it's difficult to
Yeah,
learn. Once you learn it, it's excellent. And there are shout out to my producing friends out there that are really fluent with Photoshop. But when I used iMovie for the first time, I was like, wow, I don't have to know any of these other tabs. And I could just splice, I can transition, I can pull, I can fade without going into all of the intricate pieces of Photoshop. So, you know, producing is just as important when you get into how you're going to edit it, because if you have really easy editing platform in front of you, you can fix a lot of your producing flaws or production flaws. So we talk about iMovie. I talk about Photoshop as far as editing the picture. What are you using? I think you said you were using iMovie, Jake, or what was the easier?
Yes,
What's your go-to for editing?
definitely iMovie. I've used something called Filmora Wondershare, which is
I have
also it has a
Filmora. I have that too.
Yeah, I heard.
Filmora. Yep, that has a free version. I used that a little bit. I think I liked that better from what I can remember. I don't remember why I switched back, but I've been using iMovie, and I think the more you use it and some of the smaller details about it, the more you're in tune with that, the easier it gets. So it's not that
Yeah.
difficult, I don't think.
I use Filmora. I still have it on the computer. I think I stopped using it because there were limits with Filmora. It had their logo plastered at one point where I couldn't
That's
take
what it
that off.
was. If
I
unless
couldn't
you got
take that off
premium.
after X time, and I was gonna go premium, but then it was just a cost. Like I didn't want to keep paying for it
Yeah. No, and
because every
iMovie
time it did an
is right
update, it
there.
was like, okay, you have to add an expansion. Let's face it, we're doing this for fun. We're fish people. Like I'm not a 20th Century Fox. I'm not filming the Avengers Endgame or something like that. I just want to shoot fish and edit it. So Filmora was a great platform. What do you use, Don?
Video Pad. I told you that free software that the guy installed for me. But I
Oh,
do have Photoshop Elements, which is a little bit more inexpensive than Photoshop, but it does everything you'd ever need to make a thumbnail and then some.
and it's
And I
called
think
Element.
it's like
Elements.
$99, I think, or $100, and it's just you load it up, and it's not hard at all to use.
Just a
And
one-time fee.
one time, yeah, I like the Adobe stuff. Like even I wanted to get the Adobe editing, but you got to pay like every year. I'm like, forget that.
And
But the
that
Right.
Elements,
that's what
it's
kills
one
me.
time, it's installed, you're done. You put in the keyword, and you're finished. You don't have to
Elements,
pay
okay.
ever again. So that's
And that was the
not
thing
bad.
with Filmora.
Good to
Yeah,
know.
Filmora. I mean, you had to keep adding on to it. I mean,
Yeah.
I use a platform. I used to use iMovie. I used another app that I can't even remember the name of now, but I think they kind of faded into disappearing mode. And now I use Viva Video, which a friend of mine actually put me onto. Oh, look, I was sharing
That
something.
sounds familiar. So
I
it
was
actually
using Viva Video, but Viva Video is so easy. It loads on my phone. And that's one of the things I loved about it because when we went to the aquatic experience or something, I shot video right from my phone and shot it straight to YouTube, straight from the phone, edited. Like I edited it, I put people's names in there, and it was just click and paste. So easy.
Mhm.
I didn't have to put it on the cloud. I didn't have to do anything else. It was
huh.
just there. So yeah, Viva Video I use now. I was just shooting a video last weekend, the NEC, and we did some live streams of which I shot Viva Video of me doing the live stream, and I just wanted to shout out Jake's site there so you can see this
Nice,
beautiful
nice.
picture up there. I wish I could zoom it because you got that's a good picture. It looks like a professional headshot there.
Oh, the icon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just a cropped out from an old picture. That's all that is.
So if you guys aren't already subscribers, shoot over to Dream Fish Keeping. If you're not already subscribers of New York Gold, shout out New York Gold, Dream Fish Keeping. Patronage, tutelage, sharing is caring, supporting each other is key in this hobby. And this is how we learn. This is how we learn editing. This is how we learn what people use to make themselves better. So yeah, I think it's very interesting that people still are scared of editing. There are people that are really don't want to shoot nothing because it seems overwhelming, but you got probably 10,000 video editing platforms out there that really take all the work out of it. Or you could just shoot the video straight and post it. I mean, nobody's saying that you got to be a Steven Spielberg out there. You can just shoot what you like and post it.
Just one take.
One take. One
Just a
take.
talking head.
There's a lot of good people. There's a lot. I mean, I know people with millions of viewers that started out just shooting the one take, shoot and say, "This is what I'm gonna do. Here's me fixing the tank." Half of the time, their back is to the screen. Sometimes
Yeah, and how many of them stayed doing that?
Not many. But they
Right.
did.
So everybody
but they
starts
did-
out at the bottom. Yeah, but I think we're at
They
the point
did
now,
build their-
we're trying to learn from those mistakes and it's time to evolve. I mean, honestly, there's a million people like they try so hard to get that like 1,000 subs and stuff like that. And then they get like to 2,000 and then it's like a wall, and like Michael Jordan says, if you're practicing free throws, but you're practicing wrong, what are you practicing? You know what I mean? So just because you're doing it, oh yeah, I got the 2,000 views, 2,000 subs doing this, but yeah, you got 2,000, but like Mr. Beast got to like 40 million. There's still a long road ahead of you.
I think he's pushing 100 million now.
Yeah, 100. You gotta, you
100
gotta.
million. I gotta check this guy out.
It's like studying the wrong information for the test. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're good, but you're good at the wrong shit. It's just you. And I don't know. That's the whole point of this whole thing is just trying to, bounce ideas and try to like move forward and
Yeah,
Well, that's
big
a
for me.
reason.
Go ahead.
and just
I'm
little
sorry, go
hints
ahead,
and
Jake.
tricks.
I
That's
cut
all
you
it
off.
takes. And I think the big thing is like just keeping attention. Like I'm trying to like I'm watching. I watch guys like Mr. Beast. Watch guys like Casey Neistat and stuff like that. And the big thing, even Joey. People in our own fish world.
Yeah.
They're constantly moving. They're constantly grabbing your attention. With some of them with sound effects, some of them with just jump cuts, some of them with sound changes.
Outtake.
It's even Joey, like when he's filming himself, yeah, he may talk for 5 minutes straight, but it's never the same camera angle. It's never the same thing. It's always a break and
That's
it's changing.
true.
He's from over here. He's got a camera over there. It's constantly it's keeping your attention. And I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to evolve to do the same thing. I throw sound effects. I throw different camera angles in. I change it. I'm doing like almost not jump scares, but jump cuts where to keep your attention. Wake your eyes back up. You know what I mean? Get the, and when I'll jump cut in with the music louder. Just to keep your eyes open.
Well, yeah, but that goes.
You know what I mean?
But that's more production than editing, because production is the whole method is going to change.
That all happens in editing.
It can happen in editing, or it's your camera angles, because now you're talking about switching how you film, or
Well,
maybe you
that's how
have more than one camera at the same. I mean, I know he does have multiple. You can have one camera. Like I use, I have Wi-Fi cameras. I can actually shoot 210. I haven't done it, which I'm more of the wall guy, only because I film when I want, kind of what I want. And it's a whole different point of view. But like you say, if you want to grow your channel, you're going to have to evolve. You got to improve on, okay, if you're stuck on 2 subscribers, you got to look at what did it. What did you edit out? Did you make your video shorter? Did you add a good headshot? I mean, there's some guys that may follow Jake. Oh, he's a pretty guy. We know there's a lot of girl fish keepers. I don't want to say girl, but female hobbyists. Shouts out to female hobbyists that build their following with that thumbnail. How many guys click on that thumbnail just because, oh man, this is a beautiful woman. She likes fish. Let me see what she's got to say. That's getting you views too.
Well,
you got to be smart. You got to be
that's
smart.
a whole nother topic. That's clickbait.
No, that's editing. Because they could. You don't have any idea what you think you're going to see. You're just basing it on that thumbnail and the editing. The editing could be her.
But that's the problem. How many? I mean, you know him as well as I do. There's guys in the fish fam, and they'll have a gorgeous saltwater fish as the thumbnail.
And there's no fish in the video.
Guess who's not going to go back there ever again, because they would let that. You're disappointed if you see a thumbnail with a girl with knockers out the here, and you're like, this is all me. This is all me, and you watch the whole video and you never see it. Never going back. Yeah, you got my view. You got my view time for the 7 minutes, but that's it. You think I'm going to subscribe to that? I'm not going to keep bait. You put the bait out. I took it. I'm not going to take it again.
But let's look at the people that aren't clickbait. Let's look at the people that share their Instagram and they film from a view and they wear clothes that they know makes them look better. They're I forgot what they had called it, but it was Women of Aquatics. We had a whole big Women of Aquatics drive.
Well, that's fine. At least you're getting what you pay for. You're not disappointed.
But that brought views to the channel. And that was a mode of editing that they says from this view, it may be provocative or whatever the case is, but I know from this view, I like what I see, and people are watching because I'm a pretty woman or I'm a good looking guy. I mean, let's turn around, good looking
Yeah,
guy.
there's that one girl that feeds her goldfish. She wears like little Daisy Dukes, and she gets on her
See you
tippy toes
watching.
and she
See,
feeds
it's
the gold. It's
clickbait.
like I can watch that all day. But
Guess what? That draws
it's
people.
like,
People follow the
what a
channel.
great idea.
Well, no, I mean, you know what it is. You're gonna draw people. Oh well, that's clickbait and whatever. But guess what? She has probably 60,000 followers just based on getting people to click on it.
Yeah,
And
but you're
then they
seeing
say,
what
"Oh,
you
you know
wanted to
what?
see.
This
You're
is
not
good."
getting baited in. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
get
but
baited in by the thumbnail and it's not there, I'm sorry, no one.
yeah,
They're not coming back.
yeah, but D, this is America. When you turn on the TV, what do you see? You see people on a bra commercial. You don't know what the hell is they talking about. All you see is
I get
that
it. I
keeps you
get it.
from turning the channel.
Mhm.
You first have to click on it to see what they're talking about. You're just like, oh, you know what? She has a pretty nice reef tank and she's good looking. But first, we were all single once. Maybe some of us are still single. You don't talk to girl unless she's attractive first. Something has to get your attention first, and then you see whether she's an airhead or, oh man, now I know why you're single. So you have to be drawn to the channel, and then
Right,
the
and that's what
editing.
shorts are for and thumbnails. But you want to draw people in and you want to keep them. Remember retention rate. You want to link the videos. If someone comes in and sees some girl in a bikini in your video, we're gonna go fish collecting, and then they see me in your fish collecting video. You're going down, man. It's over.
Okay, how many
They're
people
like,
want to? We're gonna test that. We're gonna
I'm
get
outta
a
here.
girl in a bikini, and then we're gonna put it in front of Don's video.
Yeah, they
It
put
goes
me out
viral.
there.
That's a great short, though. But that's a great short for a short. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
Because
yeah.
sure.
okay,
That
for a
would work.
short, it's funny. It's fun. I mean, we're
That would be
talking about
funny.
editing. We're talking about editing, and you got to give people what they want in the editing. Whether you
What's up,
think
Mr.
it's
Funk?
clickbait, I mean, whether you think it's clickbait, first you click on it and you see, oh, she is pretty and she likes fish and she knows what she's talking about. I will continue to watch. Now, I don't know many women other than like Instagram that just film themselves, like, and they like the attention and whatever. But they still do keep an audience, and that's a whole different discussion. We're not talking about the audience and your focus audience, but you're editing it to your strong point. 50 Cent, the rapper, he used to say he pimps himself. He used to pimp himself because women loved his body, and you're listening less to him as much as you looked at his body. And every video he had made stuff to fit him. There are YouTubers that have their whole line of merch just based on that, and they sell a lot of product.
You're right. There's a YouTuber, a fish tuber that does most of his videos without a shirt because he's jacked and he has tons of views.
I'm jacked.
I
Jack
think
the
I know what
Ripper.
you're talking about.
I'm more Jack the Ripper than jacked. Yeah, it's a sad fact, but clickbait does work. And yeah, yo, what's up, everybody? There's more people tuning in. I hope you're catching us mid-frame and
What's up?
keeping up. We're talking about, the editing, and it does work. I mean, we don't have to run out and get a picture of a pretty girl and put it on the thumbnail, and then you see me there with bald head and half my gray is
Yeah.
showing.
Funk wants
But,
me to put a bikini on in your next
I know,
collecting video.
I know that a whole YouTuber's career was built on the fact that she was the face of the channel, but it wasn't even her tank. And we may or may not know who that was. She did develop her channel later, and it was a pretty good channel. But I didn't know for months and maybe a couple of years, it wasn't even her tank. She was talking and regurgitating what her boyfriend was telling her about the tank. She actually had no fish tank. I got yelled at for somebody else because I made a joke and says, well, I was joking. I says, well, how can a guy that doesn't have a tank give advice about a tank? But it was really funny. He got really pissed off. But you have people that have a following. They don't even have a tank.
Yeah.
They don't have a tank and have a huge following. They could just build. You don't see that tank 2 months later. How many people go back and show that tank a year later? I mean, I don't even show my tanks in the background half of the time. I have tanks that have been running 20 years. One tank 20 years, one tank maybe 10 years, 12 years. But Of course, I would probably build 100 more followers doing that more, but there's a lot of people that just edit just based on the clickbait and just drawing attention.
Yeah, so that is definitely all true. From the perspective of just starting out fresh, I definitely don't want to outsource my identity like the one guy you were talking about. But I don't, yeah, longevity wise, I think it's better to just focus on your craft and try to improve in any way you can. There's so many, like we're talking about, there's so many different ways that you can make improvements here and there.
Yeah. And we learn as we go. I'm still learning. I definitely could have more
Oh yeah.
followers. I'm not the guy that shoots for followers. At one time I was like, oh man, yeah, I did that. So I gotta shoot film, gotta shoot, build more followers, build more followers, build more followers. If that is what you want to do, there is work involved. And that is not probably going to go into the conversation today. But I know many friends that hit that 60,000, 80,000, even 100,000, and they hit the wall, like burn out, because that is work. We didn't get into how long it takes us to edit. I know Jake mentioned he shoots 20 minutes of video. You may spend 2 hours editing. Now, I got kids. I probably could see more often because I'm in the basement, like shooting streams and stuff like that. But it is an investment. How long do you take to edit a video, D? Like your average?
It all depends on how long. Minimum 2 hours. Like the last one I did was like 3 minutes or so, and that was solid 2 hours
To get 3 minutes of video.
Yeah.
How about you, Jake?
That sounds about right to me. Yeah, it takes a couple hours, and I'll come back to it the next day, and before I finalize everything, make sure it all looks good. But
So
yeah,
now
it
you
takes
just
some
talking
time.
about, are you just talking about the filming and the editing, or just the editing 2 hours?
Just the editing. The
Just
filming's
the
the
other thing.
easy,
Yeah.
the easy
Wow,
fun
that's
part.
great. I'm
Yeah.
sure lazy. I probably edited a half an hour, edited an hour. But
How long do you shoot? Yeah.
but that's the thing. I'll spend an hour, 2 hours just selecting what I want to feel that it's good. Like I don't think it's, if I
Gosh.
look at it and I didn't get the point, I don't like it, I'll shoot it over again. Whereas you're
Gotcha.
doing all of that in the back end with the editing. So
Well,
Yeah, but
and
that's also your style. What's that thing?
that's the thing. But I'm probably going to evolve because it's not the most efficient. It's not the most, I mean, you spend it on the back end or the front end. Either way, you're going to use the same 2 hours, but what's your end result? Are you happy with it? And I'm always wanting to improve it. Like even the camera quality, I don't like it. I rather use or whatever, what your style is. Danny in the
Yeah, but
bikini.
like you did a lot of, you you you're talking while you're filming. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you have your phone and you're showing the tank, and you're showing the tank, but you're talking over it, right? So that's a lot easier to edit that than it is to be anchored off on a tripod, talking in front of the camera, and then filling the B-roll on top of it and selecting clips that go with what you have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. And I want to, like, I'm so young in everything that I'm trying to figure out what works best and what is easiest. Because I'm not just going to make, a couple more videos. I'm going to make videos continuously. So how can I make that process? How can I streamline that? Is what I'm working on.
Now I do have a few where I did that. I did the voiceover. My problem with the voiceover is I can't pace myself to what's going on in the footage.
That's
So
not easy.
I find myself doing it over and over and over again. So I end up shooting it where I can actually follow what's in the camera view and then pace it better. So I do want to go back and do more voiceover, but the pace and its style, it's all, how do you talk to people? You know what I mean? Like if you have a back and forth, then you're better off shooting it live and editing it later. But if you're more of a laid back, I need to gather my thoughts, then you're better off shooting it and then doing the voiceover.
Yeah.
Because we also have to remember that the fish have to cooperate. Sometimes when you're filming it, oh man, now the damn fish went in the cave. I can't even capture what I was trying to capture
Tell
on
me
the
about
clip.
it. I was
And
trying
it's
to
a
film
done
those
deal.
shellies. They didn't want to come out. Oh, before I forget, Jake, you have that fluval tank that's like curved the wrong way,
Yes.
right?
So if I'm going the right way with it, I think that's what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, the curve,
Yeah.
the
It's
fluval curve,
So
instead of a bow, it's like a pregnant woman.
the
it's
fluval
very
curve,
hard.
right?
It's very hard to film on. I got a heck of a deal on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody had all three, and he needed to get rid of them, and I just couldn't pass it up. And I knew I was going to put guppies in them, so it wasn't a huge deal. But I mean, I really like them. I like them so far. But yeah, very hard to shoot video on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because now you have that angle.
It's really
the
tough.
bow front is the hardest tank to shoot. But I wanted to do a video on that tank. I was in a raffle to win one at the AE, and it didn't happen. But I was looking, I was like, man, it's a nice tank. And then I saw one set up in a local aquarium, and I was like, man, this thing is nice. So I just wanted to do a rundown so I could check it out, give you some
But
video.
But
That's
who
one of the
thinks of
video
that when
ideas
they buy the
for
tank? That it's
Flex.
oh, I'm
I
sorry, I
can't
cut
hear.
you off.
Oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was gonna do a Fluval Flex review, so I got three of them. So I was just gonna, talk about it and say what I like about it and what I don't.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna
Yeah.
look forward to that because who thinks of that? Like when I take photographs of the fish, oh, I have a curve. I never even thought of that. But I was gonna get that curved tank. I was telling Don I had a curved tank. I had a 60-gallon curve. And until you mentioned that just now, I never even would have thought of that because I'm
it's
trying
tough.
to improve my photography
The
skills.
bow front is
This
next to impossible.
Yeah, it's tough.
Now, the only other way you could do that is they do have a drop in. I forgot what you call it, but you put your lens in it and you actually shoot it from the top and put it in
I'll
the
show
water.
you my trick.
I made one, and I couldn't shoot one tank from the front only because the glare from the lights was so strong. I could never shoot it from the top without backing up. So I do have a cone that I put around it that actually allows me to shoot that weird lit tank.
All right.
Is it-
Can you
is
guys
the
see
co-
me on there?
Yep, we got
So
you.
here's
yeah.
the DSLR. Here's a pizza box that's spray painted with flat black.
I did the same thing.
And then you stick the camera through the hole like that.
What did
And
I do
now
with
it
my
keeps the
box?
glare off the tank. And you can't use a flash, but you won't get the glare. You won't see yourself in the reflection, especially if you
I
get
did the
close.
same. I did the
Oh,
same
that's
thing. I
cool.
did the same thing with a moving box because the same thing. You get the glare, and depending on the lights, if you have the lights above the tank, oh, the autofocus is constantly fighting that light.
Yep.
Because like in the saltwater tank, I have power heads moving that water. That water, you can't see it with the naked eye, but through the camera, the ripple is constantly messing with the focus of the camera. So I have to turn my pumps off.
Yeah. Sometimes I do that too. Just shut the air off while I'm trying to film, and it's not as noisy. Somebody mentioned. I know somebody in the chat mentioned earlier they use a GoPro for underwater footage. Do either of you guys do that?
I have two underwater cameras. One is sitting in the box. I can't even tell you the last time I used it. You can use them. I think you touched upon it earlier. What is it? Additional equipment syndrome.
Oh, his
Yes.
gear
Yes.
accumulation. That's
Gear accumulation syndrome.
Gear accumulation syndrome.
Yeah.
I have the GoPro. I have an underwater case, and I have a cam. I have the 360 cam. Like while I'm sitting here, I could actually go straight to my tank cams and pan the room. Like now they're in night mode. That they can shoot the tank at night, or when I go on vacation, I can actually shoot the tank. But once again, the more you add to your plate, the more work it becomes. And are you going to do it? Like, it's probably better because like right now, Jake could actually pan to the tank behind him and we can actually do a play-by-play. Like, we're going to do another segment, just a tank tour. We got to do a tank tour of Jake's room. We got to do a tank tour Dee's room. We got to do a tank tour of my room. Don has a beautiful fish room. Anything he puts in there pretty much breeds. So you got to be able to shoot it. But now he's got tanks with highlights. You got tank with low lights. When does that becomes a trick to editing?
Always a trick, because I got, it's like a U shape that I have the tanks. So if I'm shooting this side, all the lights from behind me are reflecting off it. So I got to shut pretty much everything down except for the tank that you want to shoot. That's how I do it. And one trick, if you guys, I don't know if you have GoPros or not, this is the 5.
Okay.
And this you can control with your phone, right? So I thought that was the coolest thing. You could set it up, play, record, all, you know, with the, you get the app and you do it on your phone. But the second this clears the surface of your fish tank, connection's gone. So I thought I could set this into on a tripod in the tank and then turn it on and off, but you cannot control the camera, the GoPro, once it from air to sea. If
So
that makes any
have to do
sense.
it manually.
You have to turn it on and then stick it in the tank and let it go, and then take it out and then edit it that way. You can't just because I was going to do a video where I have this underwater in the tank. I still might do it. You guys can steal my idea. So this GoPro's going to be underwater in the tank, and then so there'll be fish in between me and the camera, but I'll do my audio from out here, of course, and then splice the audio so you can do like your intro. You can talk while the fish are going, you know, in between me and the camera. So maybe in one of my next videos, I'll just try it just for the hell of it.
I didn't. And just the FYI, I see the questions in the comments. I'm replying to some on my phone and I'm replying on the keyboard because I see my man in Jamaica said D and Don ignore the question. But one is my man in the upper right corner, Jake, is at Dream Fish Keeping on YouTube. Check him out because he's doing a good job. He's starting out, and like we all started out, we made that first video and started running from there. The editing got better, the quality got better. So check out his channel. And yeah, I put it in the comments. Thank you, Warren, for adding. That's Jake from Dream Fish Keeping. He's on YouTube. I shot his headshot. I shot his headshot earlier. I don't want to give him a complex, you know. He may have to put some clickbait, him on the cover. He may have to put himself on the thumbnail, you know.
Yeah.
I think the ladies will go to him. He might find.
I'm gonna put him on my clickbait. Use him in my video.
Put him on my clickbait. We're okay, Jake. We're all using your headshot on our clickbait.
Yeah. You got to email us all your headshot so we can clickbait your head.
We'll get some more done. Yeah.
But yeah, I used the 360 cam. Here's a shot in night mode because I go on vacation. I like to watch the tank because I'm a crazy fish person. But I didn't have that problem with the GoPro that you were mentioning, D. It may be, I don't know if you're trying to use a Wi-Fi. I don't know if the 5 uses the Wi-Fi or if you're just shooting it straight, like connected to the computer.
No, like you get the app on your phone, the GoPro app, and then you can control your GoPro with it. Like I could send this about the length of a football field away, and I can control it, and then the signal's gone. But the signal can't go from air to sea. Like once this goes underwater, I can't turn the camera on, off, hit record. I can turn it on and stick it in the tank all day long until the battery goes dead. But I can't control it. So if I wanted to sit here and like do some stuff and then like wait for the fish to go in front of the camera before I hit record, that's just me just trying to save pixel space. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, the GoPro, you know, because we had I forgot the manufacturer. I'm not gonna blow them up anyway, but we spoke to a company that made a new controller, and they actually added their own camera, underwater camera, and 2 issues. A, the corrosion killed it. Actually 3. B, it got cloudy because algae grew on the glass like anything. And C, the distortion used to throw the footage in and out. So this is why I actually sent them this for, I think I sent it for his birthday or for Christmas. I sent him one of the 360 cams because it's just easier to control. You can turn it. And like if I'm trying to do a talk and I'm talking about, okay, there's my torch and it's closed at night and it opens in the day, I could just shoot it right there. The GoPro, I couldn't do that. So that was the 50-cent piece of production on that. Of course, you can edit it and just do a picture-in-picture. You can shoot your video and do a picture-in-picture. I know in Viva Video. I think I said Vimeo earlier. It's Viva Video. I can put a overlay. I can shoot footage on top of my video, and I could
Yeah,
do
I
that
did the
from
same
my
thing.
phone. I could do that from my phone. So that was very convenient,
Uh-huh.
because if I'm in the field and I'm like, oh man, there's the actual picture of the fish, and here's what mines look like, and I could do an overlay. So editing, that was really cool. You could do that in movie. You can do that too. You can do that in Movie Editor Pro, which I have here. I didn't do it because it was much more evolved. Movie Editor Pro. I think you could do it in iMovie. I just didn't do it in iMovie. You can do a picture in picture, can't you? I just haven't done it.
Yes, I remember.
I think I did at one time. But editing is as easy or as difficult as you want to make it. That's it. But if you
Yes,
want to
true.
build a channel, your editing is definitely going to get better
Yeah,
because
but it's like math. The more the more quality that you want out of your channel, or the more quality you want out of your video, the more editing you have to put in. You know what I mean? So there is a curve to it. I mean, you could just sit there, grab the camera or your phone, yak away, show some stuff over, and just throw it on the thing. But if you took the same idea and then broke it into different views, B-roll, sound effects, whatever, and then edited it, shortened it, and put it out there, it would take you a lot longer, but your product will be better. So it's
yeah,
really
You talked
it's
about,
what you want.
Don, you talked about Joey a little bit. You talked
Yeah.
about him a little bit last stream too. I think what makes him so impressive, at least from what I can tell, he doesn't use a whole lot of sound effects. He doesn't
nah,
use a
No.
whole lot of
to the
poppy, flashy
point.
stuff. He doesn't even cut out setting the camera down. You just see him walking up with the camera. He sets it down, like he adjusts the camera while the video is still going, and he never edits that out. So something about his style, he just makes it look easy.
Well,
Right.
you gotta remember he's built his following not doing that though. He also did a lot of DIY videos. Now he's comfortable. Now it's who I am. He already attracted his
But
audience.
that's no, that you're missing the point. The point is though, if you watch his early videos, they were just like, robotic, stand in front of the thing, but he learned and evolved to make a quality video. I dare you to make a 11-minute video that keeps your attention like his does.
And he also
Very
edits it.
hard.
He
His
also
editing,
spends a lot of
you don't
time
even
editing.
realize when he's making those transitions, it's so smooth, everything's keeping your attention. Even when he comes in and puts the camera, he's got another camera showing you that he's putting the camera down. Like
Exactly.
there's a lot of these little things you don't even notice when you're done watching. That's what, if you're gonna do stuff like we're doing, you got to study this stuff. You can hate the guy, you don't have to like his stuff, but you're an idiot if you're not watching him and trying to learn. That's for
Exactly.
shit sure. If
You
you're not
don't
watching this
build-
guy and trying to learn how he's doing,
Yeah.
this guy is smooth. He's just doing it right. Personality aside, content aside, he's doing it right, and he learned how to do it right. You
Like
look at his
Mr.
early
Beast.
stuff, look at his stuff now, it's like somebody else is doing it for him. The guy is doing it right, and he
Like
learned how
Mr.
to do it
Beast.
right.
They don't build a following overnight. They don't build it being silly. They build it by learning what works. What keeps the attention.
He went for years with like 300 followers, gluing plexiglass together in his basement before he finally, got noticed and went and it evolved. But not, he evolved, not, his editing evolved, his equipment evolved, the way he goes at, designing a video and creating the video, everything evolved, and he evolved with it to over 1 million freaking followers, and it shows. He didn't get there because he's gluing plastic together. It's the whole package. It's a lot more than content. You have the prettiest fish in the freaking fish tube. If you're not presenting, remember what we talked about the other day, it's all execution. You got to execute it right. And that's what we're trying to learn. That's the whole point of this stuff. We're going to pick Jake's brain until he teaches us how to execute this shit.
I'm gonna have to use his headshot because everybody's saying what a great headshot. Like that's great. They're over there on your page now. Oh, that's a great headshot. Remember to click the thumbs up, everybody. Yeah, remember to check out Dream Fish Keeping. I like the logo too. But those are things like you say. it's not going to come overnight. You first got to get out there and do something. We're running an hour. I'm going to probably cut this to an end. We talked a little bit about everything. um Check out New York Gold on YouTube. Check out Dream Fish Keeping with the wonderful headshot. Shoot over there. Give Jake a like. Subscribe to his channel. um what would be the next elevation of this conversation? I will say that I spoke to somebody about the editing process. Whether we want to get into that, we may bring on some fellow YouTubers that have a large following, and they could talk about actually what it is that they learned and what got them to the large following that they had. But we're gonna close. If anybody has a closing note, we could use this 5-second soapbox, as I call it, to shoot a closing note. The only thing I'm gonna say, because I'm already talking as usual, April 8th, the Brooklyn Aquarium Society is having our in-person meeting. Thank God. I spoke to several people that are
Finally.
they're like biting their arms off, wanting to get out of the house. We're gonna see how many people are gonna show out and show that love. It's gonna be at the ooh, I'm choking up there. On our Facebook page. It's going to be on our Facebook page. It's going to be on our basny.org website, so you can get directions and everything. St. Brennan's Catholic Church in Brooklyn. More information, check out the YouTube channel, check out the Facebook page, check out the website for instructions. But we're meeting in person April 8th, the second Friday of April, and we're going to have Yemi, one of the first one and only aquaponics farmers located in Brooklyn. Aquaponics in Brooklyn. She had a whole facility that I didn't know about, and I'm a Brooklyn boy. I'm ashamed.
I had no idea.
So at another point, we're going to make a visit, but show the love, show the comments below whether you're coming. We welcome you. $5 at the door. If you're not a member, it's $5 at the door. If you're a member, it's free. Donations are always welcome. We're gonna have auction fish. We're gonna have tanks. We're gonna have equipment. We got a whole supporting stock from Zoomed. We're gonna have Zoomed products, including one of their special lights, brand new. So check us out. That's my soapbox moment, because I got to.
Sounds like a commercial to me.
It's always a commercial. I love the Brooklyn Aquarium Society. Long rest in peace, Joe G. What do you got to say? Did you feel like you got anything from this, Jake? Did you get anything from this yapping of the gums?
Yeah, well, I mean, this was my first live stream, so it was nice to come up and talk. Definitely, thank you guys for having me. And I think we could do more on this topic. I think there's a lot more we could dive into.
100%. I was just thinking the same thing. I'm writing notes down, because I think we could do a whole nother show and just keep going and just keep add on to this. I got to, a whole new way to spin this thing too, different stuff.
Yeah.
So,
if you don't know, Don is a deep thinker. He's very analytical and very knowledgeable. He picks stuff up that I miss all the time. We talk all the time, and he's always, oh, do you know? And this is why we talk, because you cannot really critique yourself. You have to have somebody outside seeing. Otherwise, like you said, if you're kicking the ball sideways your whole life, what's going to make you kick it the front way? So,
yeah,
this is what we do here. I'm glad that we got this. I'm glad that you guys took the time to drop in and visit us and leave comments. Click the like button, subscribe to those channels. If there's no more, I'm just going to say peace out, everybody, and give the wave. While I'm waving, I'm going to steal Jake's headshot and place it on my body real quick. So, see white guy with a black shirt. Yeah, you know what happened. So, love, peace, and hair grease, everybody. I'm not sticking this any longer than it has to be. I'm just ending the broadcast. See ya.